Innocent lives lost, communities shattered, a land once at peace, now shaken by fear and mourning. But amidst the smoke and sorrow, a clear message from Nigeria's top cop: criminals have no tribe. The tragedy in Plateau, a return to violence. The latest series of attacks in Plateau State have sent shockwaves through Nigeria. Once considered a symbol of resilience and relative peace, especially in cities like Jos, Plateau is now reeling from renewed violence. The attackers targeted vulnerable farming communities, with victims including women, children as young as 3, and the elderly, prompting outrage nationwide. These events represent a major setback for a region that had just begun to rebuild trust and economic activity after years of unrest. While the motives behind the violence are still under investigation, early intelligence suggests the acts were premeditated and designed to incite fear, division, and potentially retaliatory violence. Farming, a key livelihood in the area, has again been disrupted, pushing the local economy and food supply further into distress. The psychological toll is equally damaging, with survivors expressing fear of returning to their homes or farmlands. The Inspector General of Police (IGP) wasted no time visiting the region. In his address, he delivered a firm condemnation of the killings and made it clear: no tribe should be held responsible for the actions of criminals. He emphasized that assigning ethnic identities to perpetrators only worsens the cycle of violence and makes policing less effective. His statement, "Criminals have no tribe," was a powerful rebuke to those fueling ethnic tensions. To the grieving families, his message was one of empathy and action. Condolences were paired with assurances that justice would be pursued relentlessly. The IGP's response is part of a wider federal push to stabilize Plateau and prevent a repeat of these atrocities. But will words turn into real change? Tactical response, security overhaul, and intelligence surge. In the wake of the attacks, the Nigerian police force has ramped up its presence in affected regions of Plateau. New deployments of personnel, tactical units, and surveillance teams are now patrolling rural roads and high-risk areas. These efforts are supported by a renewed focus on intelligence-led policing, prioritizing real-time data, community informants, and digital monitoring to prevent further strikes. The IGP acknowledged the limitations in manpower but assured citizens that alternative strategies are being deployed. This includes mobile patrol teams, aerial surveillance, and even discussions around community-integrated policing solutions. Security experts are already working on predictive models to identify flashpoints and likely routes of infiltration by armed groups. A key takeaway from the IGP's briefing was the intensified collaboration between federal and state-level agencies. From military backup to DSS intelligence channels, interagency cooperation has become a central pillar of the response. Plateau's leadership also received praise from the IGP for their support of police operations and their willingness to share intelligence with federal command. Yet, despite these measures, many citizens remain skeptical. Community leaders have called for more than just uniformed men. They're demanding justice. Arrests, prosecutions, and visible court cases will be essential to restoring public trust. Security operations must go beyond optics and deliver tangible outcomes: safety, accountability, and eventually peace. The dangers of ethnic profiling, why it must stop now. Perhaps the most striking part of the IGP's visit was his firm rejection of ethnic profiling. In Nigeria, where ethno-religious narratives often shape public opinion, this stance couldn't have come at a more critical time. Criminals do not have a tribe, he said. They have crimes. The message was clear. To heal, Plateau must stop looking at ethnicity and start looking at evidence. Ethnic profiling not only divides communities, it weakens policing. When law enforcement agencies pursue suspects based on tribe, it erodes trust and cooperation, especially in diverse regions like Plateau. Communities withdraw, fearing targeted harassment rather than equitable protection. This results in reduced intelligence, delayed response times, and an environment where criminals flourish by hiding behind identity politics. Rejecting profiling also sends a message to politicians and influencers who exploit crises for ethnic mobilization. Peace cannot grow on the soil of stereotypes. By treating crime as crime regardless of who commits it, police reinforce a standard of fairness that is essential for national unity. The IGP's comments have already sparked debate online. Many Nigerians, especially from conflict-prone zones, are sharing stories of unjust suspicion based on tribe. His call may have initiated a wider national reflection on how tribalism hinders justice. And in Plateau, where wounds run deep, that conversation may be the first step toward healing. Solutions, community role, and the path forward. So what's next for Plateau? How can the government ensure this tragedy doesn't repeat? The path to lasting peace requires both tactical precision and grassroots engagement. First, intelligence gathering must go hyperlocal, empowering vigilante groups, neighborhood watch teams, and traditional leaders to serve as the first line of defense. Their eyes and ears on the ground are invaluable. Second, socio-economic grievances must be addressed. Many of these attacks stem from land disputes, resource scarcity, and revenge cycles born from poverty. Development programs, farming incentives, and youth employment schemes can act as long-term deterrents. Security is not just about guns, it's also about hope. Third, community education is key. Ethnic profiling must be openly discussed and dismantled through town hall meetings, religious platforms, and school curricula. Leaders should guide dialogue on unity, conflict resolution, and the shared pain violence brings to all communities regardless of tribe. Finally, justice must be swift and visible. Arrests and court proceedings should be publicized, and victim support systems must be strengthened from trauma counseling to relocation support. Only then will Plateau's people begin to feel safe again, and only then will the IGPS message criminals have no tribe become more than just words. If you believe in a Nigeria where peace wins over prejudice, like this video, share it, and let your voice be part of the solution. Drop your thoughts in the comments. How can we protect our communities without dividing them? Subscribe to stay informed because this story is far from over.